Welcome back to 365 Unlimited. We are back with another interview, as you can tell. Very excited for this one. Tonight we're joined by Two Live Craig. We're very excited to hear his story. I know just being on social media and seeing all the great things he's doing with these athletes, putting them in positive situations, allowing them to reap the benefits of their skill set on and off the field. It's a pleasure to watch, pleasure to see, and we're grateful for him to be able to hop on here with us tonight. But before we dive into all that, make sure to continue to like, view, and subscribe all the content. We greatly appreciate all the feedback we receive from everyone. It allows us to improve, allows us to find new guests, and we continue to grow that way. Also, check out our three sponsors, Driftless Quality Wear, Bacher Auto Group, and Not Vintage. That is KNOT Vintage Graphic Tee Company. They got the best graphic tees out there, I'll tell you that. I know Gannon and I have had the pleasure to kind of be able to wear a couple of them, represent them. And you can use that code 365U for 10% off. You won't regret it. I promise you that. All right, Gannon, let's rock with it.
Yeah, introductory question we always ask who you are, Two Live Craig, kind of get everybody a little taste of the Two Live culture.
Oh man, well, where do I start, man? I think I'll start with our core values, bro. Like the main things that the Two Live represents are the fingers, right? We encourage each other, uplift one another, and elevate together. It's kind of just the mindset, the way we believe in each other. I believe rising tides raise all ships. So just knowing that, your brothers believe in you. Sometimes I think a lot of people forget that it's hard, like a lot of the things that we're doing, a lot of the athletes, it's not an easy journey. It's a difficult process. And knowing that someone else believes in you, I feel like gives just that little bit of momentum to keep you going when times get difficult. Knowing that there's somebody you can call, knowing there's somebody that you can count on, knowing that if you need work, you can get it, you can make a call. We're in the lab ready to go. Just having brothers that you can count on, brothers that you can rely on. That's what Two Live is about. And wanting to see each other win, man, that's the big thing. I think in the culture that we live in today, it's kind of hard to not notice hate. There's a lot of hate in the world, and part of my purpose for why I'm here and what I believe God's given me this platform for is to be an asset, be a resource, and be a light. And so those are the three kind of just ways I attack life. I kind of look at everything that gets brought to my attention, and is there a way for me to be an asset here, be a resource here, or do I need to be a light? And if one of those three is checked, or if all three are checked, then that's kind of how I move forward with things. And so this gave me an opportunity to speak on what we do, and just the goal for Two Live is open doors and opportunities, right? And so everything that we're trying to do is to build that for all of our guys. We want to make sure that they get open doors and opportunities so that when they come, they can execute. And that's part of our job too, is to prepare them through the process to be ready to execute when the door opens or when the opportunity presents itself. So, that's what we're about. And that's kind of just what God's given me. And I'm thankful for that, because I'm in a beautiful place, and I've got a lot of incredible people around us, and God just continues to open doors and provide opportunities for us. I'm thankful.
For sure. I mean, I think it's a complex testament, but at the same time, it's simple. I mean, elevating each other, uplifting people, and just allowing people to be encouraged. That's something that in the sports world or outside the sports world, no matter what it is, if you can execute those three things as a human being, as an athlete, a coach, a fan, I think you're better off in society in general, and we can allow more positivity to be influenced. And like you said, there's a lot of hate, a lot of negativity in this world. So to be that bright light, it's special. But so
Yeah.
kind of going about your journey with creating a space for these athletes. I was reading a little bit on the website, kind of seeing what you're more about other than social media, and I read a part on the article on the website. It stated You want to build a space for athletes to be able to achieve their dreams. So building that space, how do you go about building that space? Because obviously every athlete wants to train. Every athlete, well, more than likely, I should say, every athlete wants to train. You never know. But how do you go about building that safe space for those players to come in there and know that you're going to get everything out of them?
Well, and I think that kind of it goes back to, what our platform is becoming. It's the more people see us and what we're doing, the more opportunities and open doors get presented for all of our people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's truly what the main goal of all of this is. Kind of back when we started, there were two people in particular that I felt like deserved a chance and didn't get one. And it was because of COVID actually, and this thought in my mind crossed, and it was just kind of like, okay, well, COVID shut down camp. They just graduated from college. I believe that they deserve a shot. How can we do this, right? And at the time I thought, okay, well, maybe I can make some calls. Maybe I can call somebody and say, hey, I need a guy to get a workout with a pro day, or I need somebody to come look at him. And back then I didn't really have the network that I do now.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, okay, well, if we can use the social media aspect and really just get them out there, then maybe somebody sees them and says, you know what, that's the dude that I'm looking for. And that's kind of where it all began. I think, um, we were just working. It was just about, getting better, getting better, getting better. And God just said, you know what? I love what you're doing. Let me just put it in front of other people's eyes. And then from that, again, more doors opened, more opportunities presented themselves. And the amount of blessings we've had is truly unbelievable to me. At times, I think about what God's done, how far he's brought not only me and my life, but the people around us, and watching people like Jimmy Trilla, right, who showed up to SMU as a quiet, really quiet, tiny little. He looked like a karate kid when he walked in with his headband on, scrawny as hell, But he had some dog in him, and I loved it. And he convinced his mom that he needed to be down here. So she moved from Chicago, quit her job, moved from Chicago, brought him to us, basically said, all right, Craig, here you go. Figure it out. I'll never forget that, man. And I tell this story all the time. It's one of my favorites. We were in the indoor. Actually, I'll backtrack some. After his first session, which Dez was there, and obviously he's a big Dez fan, he messaged me and he's like, man, I'm going to move to Texas. And I'm like, yeah, okay, man. You're just a 15-year-old kid, right? Well, that was the first time and probably the last time that I didn't believe anything he said. Because about a week and a half later on a Friday night, I remember I was putting my cleats on and in walked Jimmy and his mom. And I remember I was kind of tying my shoe and then I looked up and I was like, did he just, and I looked back again. I was like, that I'm like, man, that's his mom too. So she walks up and she looks at me and she goes, so you're him, huh? I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, my son said he needed to be here in order to prepare him for college and get him a scholarship. So I quit my job and here we are. And I was like, oh, what? No way. So immediately I felt like the entire world had just like landed on my shoulders. And to be honest with you, I remember at that moment, I was like, all right, this is it. We got to find a way. We got to make a way. Whatever we got to do, whatever it is, we'll figure it out. And I remember that night I prayed real hard and I was like, look, God, like, just let me know where we need to go with this. Just take me wherever you need me to go. I'll go. Just do what you do. And, from that point, anybody and everybody that called me to come to Dallas to train, Del Fonte, Route God, TJ from Top Shelf, anytime they would say, hey, we're coming to Dallas, we're going to come throw, we're going to work out with so and so and so, can you come throw? I'm like, yeah, but I'm bringing Jimmy with me. I want Jimmy to come see what it is and learn and take tools from what you have to offer. And everybody was like, cool, bring him. So at that point, I kind of realized we had not only, the amazing people that I get to work with, but also the fact that like that that provided a resource for our guys. So then what I started doing was inviting all of our guys to different sessions and putting our guys in front of all the top trainers. And it ended up just becoming this vision to where I realized God was saying, like, Craig, you're here to be a resource to these people. You're here to be an asset to your people and to other people. And I just want you to continue putting people in position. And through that, he continued to open doors. And I knew, I knew he was confirming, every time I would ask, he would confirm by sending us another opportunity. you know for instance, like today, I've had an incredible day. Terrence Williams, obviously former Cowboy, one of my most loved people on earth. He's down in Mexico playing. They came to get him and two other guys, Trey Boykin as well. We were all trying to keep them ready. I call it the Stay Ready crew. We got a couple different, the late night crew and then the Stay Ready crew. They came and got three of them. They're down there right now, and they're getting ready to start their season. And Terrence sent me some messages today of him speaking on ESPN Deportes, Fox Sports, Telemundo. Like, his entire world's opening up even further, So it's like, God, I hear you. I thank you. It blows me away, how he continues to work and move through us. And I'm just so thankful for it, and this opportunity to speak to you guys tonight and just kind of share what we've been doing and going through. And I had pre-draft earlier, so throwing with the pre-draft guys. And there's some incredible guys out there that are going to have, tremendous futures in the NFL. So I'm just thankful to be a part of it all. Thankful that God chose me to be a vessel for His light. And man, it's a wild ride, I'll tell you that.
It is
It's
indeed.
crazy because once you kind of get somewhere and then all of a sudden something more just opens your eyes and surprises you, like even bounds and leaps ahead of that. That's the cool part. But there was something
Yeah,
that I kind of noticed when I was just doing a little bit of homework and stuff of you saying more than just football on your website, and
yeah.
working with these athletes and their own personal brands while also having this brotherhood of the two live area. And I think that's really interesting, unique aspect because I think it also builds off what you said, being a light or an asset. Like you can always have something to give to somebody, no matter the circumstance. And I just want you to talk on that. I know it's kind of cliche because we just explained it a little bit and you've talked about it a lot, but just specifically with these athletes and like the importance of it because there's so much more than these football players, these athletes. And I think you get it, and a lot of people don't get it because I'm a current college athlete playing baseball, and there's just so much other stuff that gets swept under the rug. And to see this, it's refreshing through an athlete's eyes. That's really all I wanted to say.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, because as an athlete myself, I think that I hate to say that I'm different, but I understand that I see things differently. And I don't know if it's because I'm a Cancer or because I grew up in a home where I had a mom and two sisters, but I think a little differently than most men, right? And I'll kind of go back to a little bit of my experience. So I was in the military for a while and I was a drill instructor. And one of the things about being a drill instructor was one, you have to be a leader, obviously. So I learned a lot of leadership characteristics and traits that made me successful. But part of that was you have to be an asshole, right? You really have to be stern and crafty with words. And looking back, I missed on that because I was more concerned. I was young and stupid, but I was more concerned with how mean could I be, how much of an asshole could I be, and how funny could I be doing it, right? And what I realize now is that God gave me a platform to be a light. Then I just misused it. And understanding what I know now is how significant words can play on a person's heart and mental health. And so one of the main pieces of what Two Live is and what our focus is again kind of just knowing that you've got a brother to lean on. You know, you've got people. We may not be on the same football team right now, but we're still a part of the same family. And regardless of whether you train with this trainer or that trainer, you're still a part of us because you know that we believe in you and you believe in us. So there's this mutual love and understanding, and I'm trying to just bring it to where we can unite through the positive side of life and try to speak more love and encouragement into each other. You know, if we continue to encourage and uplift each other with our words, then maybe we don't take 5 steps back. You know, maybe there's a difficult day where I'm already beating myself up mentally. And instead of going to work and train and you beating me up too, maybe you're the light that lifts me out of that dark spot. Or maybe I'm the light that lifts you out of the dark spot. And that's really, you know, the thing that means more to me than anything. The football piece I love, but are we making a positive impact in each other's lives? Are we bringing out the best in each other? Am I making you a better person on and off the football field? If I'm not, then I'm not doing my job and I'm not serving my full purpose. And now that's not to say that I'm perfect, because none of us are perfect, and I'm definitely not perfect. But my goal every day is to be an asset, a resource, and a light to all of our people, and to continue being the best that I can be to deliver that.
No, I like that 100%. I think if you are an asset to people, like we've stated throughout this, it's just like having that positive influence on someone can take it. Like it can go so far in someone's life, it can literally change someone's life. I know,
Yeah.
like Gannon and myself starting this podcast, sitting there trying to analyze the positives behind it outside of
Mhm.
sharing stories or doing interviews, whatever it is, whatever we're doing, as long as we can change one person's life, or one person watches one of our videos and it can reach them and teach them. I think that's the most inspiring aspect of anything within life, is if you can impact one person, it sets off a chain reaction where one person turns into two turns into 10, and then it just doubles, triples. And that's the chain reaction we need in this lifetime, sports or not. So this kind of leads me into my question. So throughout this whole brand, throughout Two Live crew, throughout whatever crew, everything involved within what you do. Yeah, you
There's
get
a
it.
lot. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a whole lot. It's hard to like put your hands on it and everything. It's crazy.
But so everything involved within your brand, what's your best advice to a kid right now that maybe you've never helped, or a kid that's out there 15 years old, 12 years old, that is wanting to chase a dream? What is the advice you give to that kid?
Give it everything you've got, no matter what. Um, if you can give your best every single day, sometimes your best isn't always going to look the same. Um, you just have to keep going. The only way you don't succeed is if you stop. So just I think that the most incredible people that I've been around are the ones who understand that no matter how difficult things get, the persistence and the consistency and the details are the things that matter the most.
Hmm.
And so we try to center our lives on like being present, right? Just be in the moment, one rep at a time, one day at a time. Just do exactly what you need to do to the best of your ability, and you don't even have to look forward, because once you get there, you'll know how you got there. You took every step to get it. And just that's the big thing for, for the process, right? The process is what leads to the outcome. So the focus is always on the process. If you give the process everything that you got, there's no way you can fail. No way.
Earlier you were kind of touching on just a few different things, and it really caught my eye at just when you said the love for football is there. That's a a given thing that's already there, and I think that's more empowers a lot of the people in the training professional, the personal training, the sports training, and all that. That's more of what weighs for their outcomes and what's more important to them, instead of the growth and everything else that's through the athlete's eye and seeing them grow first along with the brand. So like you see a lot of different people with this career and this type of thing, but your unique aspect and your outlook on this has really just caught my eye, just hearing you speak and those different type of things, because you're not trying to push your product and your brand out here to these athletes. You're pushing around the whole lifestyle, and everything else kind of, incorporates it all into one thing, one big cloud over it all, being an athlete, being a human. And I just want to say that's awesome. And it's cool to see, because I said it again before, but like, you don't have this a lot. And I know that's probably some of the motivations with you and yourself and your goals, but you don't see this in the sports world, no matter what sport, no matter what age level. This is starting to be a transition, and it's just really cool to see. If you have any comments on that, I just kind of want to hear more on it.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is, and I hate to say that people are selfish, um,
They
but
are, though. They are. They are.
they are, and for me, like it's not about me. It's bigger than me. It has nothing to do with me. Two Live isn't me. Two Live isn't Craig. Craig is a part of Two Live because I'm a part of what the belief is. And so what I want people to know is you don't have to train with me to be part of Two Live. Two Live is the belief. It's the structure of how we treat each other. It's believing in each other. It's encouraging, uplifting, and elevating together. Because again, the rising tide will raise all of the ships. So knowing people that, like, if you were to look at somebody and say, man, that dude makes everybody around him better, I would call that Two Live. Um, and the meaning of it is that when we started our one-on-one sessions, it was all about just getting better. It had nothing to do with money. It had nothing to do with anything but the love of the game. And I want you to get better, and I want to get better too. That was it. That's all it was about. And so what that kind of does is it creates this bond between people that's almost unbreakable, right? If you're not concerned about that guy being who you're competing with, it makes it about, I want us to be better humans, and I want us to both win. And that's okay. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a competition against each other. We can see each other win. I can encourage you to win. I want you to win, and I want you to know that I want you to win too. That's what makes me feel more alive. I love seeing my people win. There's nothing I enjoy more than seeing my people win. And so that's what Two Live represents. That's what it becomes, and that's what it is, because I feel so alive when I see my people winning.
Yeah, it's hilarious you say that, because today I shared on Instagram something that stuck out to me, and it's literally just exactly what you're saying right there. Like, it's okay for two people to win. Your friends should
Yeah,
win, and the quote says your circle should not gossip, complain, or get jealous of each other. And
right.
there's so much of that in today's society, where Gannon and myself can be best friends, but we've learned how to navigate this podcast where we're not jealous of each other's other successes. Like, if Gannon is succeeding in a different avenue than I am, we celebrate that. And that's something,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And we've tried to do that within our hometown, the community that we're trying to help. It's just allowing other people to celebrate each other. Like,
yeah.
we
And and the unfortunate part of that is that we're unique in it.
mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't want that. A
Yep.
lot of people, I've experienced resistance from it. Like people are like, oh, well, that's the op, or that's, you're not supposed to do that. And it's like, why not?
Exactly. No,
But if
it's
I care about the person, then why wouldn't I?
mm-hmm.
If I don't make it about a business deal, if I make it about I genuinely care about that guy and I want him to win, why wouldn't I do this?
Exactly.
And so stay strong in that. Stay
Mm-hmm.
strong, and don't allow anybody to walk you off of your path. I think that's the other thing for me too, is like, I struggle with, there are times where, people will say, oh, well, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to do it like this. And I'm like, well, that's maybe how you're supposed to do it, but this is how I feel like God's telling me to do it.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, God's above all of us, so I can't tell him no.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
can't do that. So I'm just gonna roll with what I got to do. And if God tells me not to go that way, I won't.
Yep.
But right now, He's telling me to do this, so I'm doing it.
No, exactly. And like that's the unique part of life is everyone has a different walk. Like
Yeah,
we all have a different path. We all get to decide if that's what we want to do. Do we love this? Are we passionate about it? Is it impacting people the correct way? And that's something that
right.
we've noticed as well. But the last question that I have for you is we kind of ask this question to everybody, just a way for us to learn and grow in ourselves. Um, what's some advice that you have for us? Not necessarily even just as a podcast, as people, but just what advice do you have us to keep growing, networking, and building a brand?
Man, stay true to who you are. Stay true to who you are. Stay in your prayer and stay faithful. Stay faithful to your process. I love what you guys are doing. I think it's been incredible. I celebrate every time I see you guys talking to people that I know. I love it, and I look forward to seeing more people that you all know. Um, and the thing that I think is kind of cool is as networks continue to expand, I can't wait to see who you guys get on here, and I can't wait to hopefully someday invite some more people on here for you, and maybe come back and maybe actually do this in person too,
For sure,
Hell
for
yeah.
sure.
so just stay true to the process, man, no matter how hard it gets, no matter what people say, stay true to who you are, be authentically you. And don't apologize for it either. Understand who you are, what you bring to the table. One thing about me that, is kind of hard is a lot of people, my mentor said to me the other day, he said, you've got a big heart and people are going to take advantage of you. And he said, you have two options. You can know that and continue being who you are, or you can change who you are so that nobody ever does it. And I sat back and I thought about it for a second and I was like, why would I want to change who I am? I'd rather just stay who I am and understand that there will be times where people, mistreat me or, say mean things or whatever you want to call it, right? Or turn their back on me or whatever. But the thing about it is they're doing that because of themselves. It has
Hmm.
nothing to do with me. So not taking it personal, I just have to know that I am who God made me and I have to stay that way and continue to be who I am and do it as God called me to do and stay faithful to that process. That's my process. You guys are rocking, man, and keep rocking, keep doing your podcast, keep reaching out to people, keep networking, keep growing, get to as many events as you can. If there's ever anybody that you guys need me to introduce you to, it's done. You don't even have to ask. So,
Appreciate that. Thank you.
absolutely. Whatever I can do to help you guys, let me know. Like I said, asset, resource, and light, man. So if there's a resource I can be for you, I'm all in.
For sure.
You got anything else, Bryce? Because I got closing statement plus a statement that I got to
Yeah, just
mention
Hell
to
go
you.
yeah.
ahead. I'm
Yeah,
all,
let's do it.
It's crazy because he just talked about the God and the calling, this and that. I'm looking for my next career to next year once I graduate to still teach and be around baseball and graduate assistant somewhere. And some of these things that you just, I was going to even ask you a question earlier on this, like what is some advice, to be a mentor, to be a coach, to be a, just a professor really of your game and that you love. But you answered all the stuff that I wanted to hear through these questions, and it was indirect questions. So like that's just another way like God's answered my things and my prayers and all that. So like it's just a cool full circle moment. I just wanted to throw that in there. Like it just dawns in you, it just hits you at the weirdest moments, and it's cool because I wanted to learn and see this different type of stuff and your values that you had. And but boom, I didn't even have to ask the question. God answered it and got the question answered through all
Won't he
this.
do
So
it?
I know it's why would you expect anything less? But
yeah, for
Right?
sure, for sure.
it's awesome,
All you gotta do is ask and he'll confirm. He'll send you
Oh
the
yeah.
answer.
It's not always on time, but you're gonna get it. That's the biggest thing. But I just bounce off what you said with the youth and stuff to tell these people to stay consistent, and it's a complete buy-in on a day-to-day basis, no matter what you're doing, the school, the nutrition, your athletics, your stretching, your mobility, all of that type of stuff. It's a process, and it's always leveling each other up. So just to hear this in a whole different way, and to take some of this that I'm going to take, and with some of my younger teammates that I'm mentoring and leading on my baseball team, all the way to the younger guys I'm going to be working with, I'm definitely going to take this and use it. So thank you for all that. Thank you for your time, and this is just a connection just getting started. I know it is.
I can't wait. I thank you as well, G, man. I appreciate you.
For sure. I want to say thank you as well, man. I second everything Gannon said. Just the networking ability that social media has. There's one thing I've learned is if you use social media the correct way, being a positive light, and you want to meet new people for the right reasons, God will give you those people in your life. You'll be able to kind of serve your purpose. And this is just another prime example of that, to be able to sit down, gain knowledge, allow you to tell your story that inspires the youth. So thank you for sitting down with us, and I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, Bryce. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Keep tapping in. We got more interviews coming. I know Gannon's back in baseball full swing, but we got more coming for you.